So, for many professionals, marketing feels really uncomfortable. And you might worry about coming across as too salesy or maybe too self promotional. But here's the truth: marketing is not about pushing people to buy your services, it's about helping them understand how you can solve their problems. I'm Sylvia Garibaldi, founder and CEO of a well established marketing training and done for you services company, tailored specifically for the modern legal and financial professional worldwide. While it's taken some trial and error to figure out which methods get the best results for professionals who are looking to grow their practices, fast forward to today, my team and I have nailed down and perfected a process that has helped so many of our clients consistently achieve outstanding results and create a legacy for their practices. I created the Serve First, Sell Later marketing podcast to give you simple, actionable, non-salesy, and results-driven marketing to grow your legal or financial practice like so many of our clients have. If you're a lawyer, mediator, financial, or divorce professional who is looking to become highly visible and wants to create a practice that makes an impact, then you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 54 of the Serve First, Sell Later marketing podcast. I'm your host, Sylvia Garibaldi, and today's episode is one that I'm especially passionate about because it's a trap that I see far too often in this industry. So here's how it goes. You're an incredibly skilled professional, maybe a lawyer, mediator, or divorce expert, and you've been investing in program after program to get more certifications and more designations. But when you look at your calendar, you're wondering why clients aren't booking appointments. So you're not alone in this. This is a cycle that I call the certification or designation spiral. So what do I mean by this? Instead of focusing on marketing or building your client base, you find yourself investing in yet another certification, and you tell yourself, this one will make the difference. This one will get me the clients that I need. And so what happens is professionals invest heavily in certifications and designations, thinking that it'll lead to more clients. But here's the truth: certifications alone don't grow your practice. Marketing yourself, building visibility, and developing relationships with clients, prospects, and referral partners do help you build your business. So, in this episode, I'm going to unpack why certifications don't translate into new business, why we chase them, and what you should be doing instead to start attracting clients. And here's the kicker: sometimes chasing certifications is just an excuse to avoid marketing. And it's a way of hiding from the work of building visibility and selling your services. So today, I want to get real about this and give you the tools to break free. And while continuing to invest in your professional development is absolutely important, you also need to ensure that you're balancing it so that you are getting out there and marketing yourself and your services so that these clients can find you. So let's dive in. So I want to start with why this happens. So why do we chase certifications or designations? And it feels logical at first because it can help you boost credibility, and it also shows that you're an expert in your field. And there's lots of truth to this. Being well-trained and knowledgeable is absolutely important, especially in professions like law, mediation, or the divorce space. But here's the problem. Most of the time, our clients don't care about the specific letters after our name. They're not looking for the next credential. They're looking for someone who can solve their problem. So let me ask you this: how often do your clients come to you because they researched your designations or certifications? How often do they ask about that extra designation? So if you're like most professionals I work with, the answer is not often. So think about the last time you hired someone, a doctor, a coach, or even a contractor. Did you make your decision based on their credentials alone? Or did you go with the person who seemed to understand your needs and could deliver the results that you wanted? right? So let's go a layer deeper here. What's really going on when we keep chasing those designations? And for many of you, it's about fear of rejection, fear of putting yourself out there, fear of marketing. And so certifications, they feel safe, they're tangible, they're a way to stay busy and productive without confronting the discomfort of marketing or being rejected. So I want to share with you a quick story. One of my clients, who was a very highly skilled divorce mediator, she had certifications in everything from complex divorce mediation to co parenting communication. But the problem was she wasn't booking clients. Instead, she came up with reasons why she would start promoting her services once she got an additional designation, or she would start once she finishes this next training. Does this sound familiar? So the truth is, she was really afraid. She was afraid of being visible, afraid of stepping into the spotlight and saying, "Here's how I can help you." So when we finally addressed this, everything changed. She shifted her focus from certifications to visibility. How do I get myself out there? And she started marketing herself consistently. And within a few months, her calendar was full. So let's get into what your clients actually care about. When someone is looking for a professional, they're not saying, "I need someone with XYZ certification." What they're actually saying is, "I need someone who can help me solve this problem." So they are rarely asking, "Who has the most certifications?" Instead, their thoughts sound more like, "Does this person really understand what I'm going through? Can this person solve my problem? And will I feel comfortable and supported while working with them?" And I think this is a really important distinction because clients aren't necessarily equipped to evaluate your technical qualifications. So most people don't understand what all those letters after your name even mean. So what they do understand is how you make them feel and whether they trust you to handle their situation. So here's an example. One of our clients, an estate planning attorney who specializes in complex estate planning, she had a long list of credentials related to her area of expertise. But when we looked at her client feedback, guess what came up? Clients weren't raving about her credentials. They were raving about how she made them feel heard, how she simplified complex issues, and how she guided them to solutions. So your clients care about outcomes. Very, very important. They care about your ability to connect with them and solve their problems. But if your marketing is focused on your credentials rather than the value that you provide, you're actually missing an opportunity to connect with your audience. In fact, when we reviewed our client's website and social media, there was clearly a disconnect that we needed to correct because she wasn't speaking to her audience in a way that addressed their concerns. So her messaging was all about her qualifications, not about how she could help her clients navigate the situation that they were in. So we made a simple shift. Instead of listing her certifications front and center, we rewrote her messaging to reflect that she truly understood their situation. And this isn't uncommon. We see this with a lot of people that come knocking on our door asking for marketing support. So, really, really important to pay attention to this. All right, now that we've identified the problem, let's focus on the solution. So, if more certifications aren't the answer, then what is? So, breaking free from this certification or designation spiral isn't about ignoring your expertise. It's about redirecting your energy toward activities that will actually attract your ideal clients. So let's dive into 5 steps that you can take right now to start seeing those real results. So, step number 1 is you really need to shift your mindset. So, the first step really is to break free in your rethinking about how you view marketing. So, for many professionals, marketing feels really uncomfortable. And you might worry about coming across as too salesy or maybe too self promotional. But here's the truth: Marketing is not about pushing people to buy your services. It's about helping them understand how you can solve their problems. So I want you to think of it this way. Imagine that you've discovered a solution to a life changing problem. Would you keep it a secret or would you want to share it with the people who need it most? So your services are that solution. Okay. By marketing yourself, you're not bragging, you're serving. You're giving potential clients a chance to find and benefit from your expertise. That's simply what you're doing when you're putting yourself out there. So, step number two is really identify who your ideal client is. So, you need to get crystal clear on who you want to serve. And so, when I ask professionals about their ideal target audience, I often hear something vague like, I help anyone who needs mediation or legal services, or anyone going through a divorce. That's too broad. And if you try to appeal to everyone, you'll end up resonating with no one. Okay. Instead, narrow your focus and ask yourself the following questions: who are my best clients? Who am I getting the best results for? What specific problems do they need help solving? And what stage of life or work situation are they in? So let me share a quick example. One of our clients is a workplace mediator who initially marketed herself as someone who could help resolve any workplace conflict. And so her messaging was broad and generic. And while she was skilled, she wasn't attracting the type of clients that she wanted to work with. So what we did is we actually took a step back and we identified her ideal niche, which was organizations struggling with conflicts between senior management teams and employees, especially during the times of organizational change like mergers or restructuring. So, what we did is we helped her tailor her messaging to this specific audience. And when we did this, everything changed. Why? Because she started addressing concerns that were top of mind for her ideal clients, which was misaligned communication between leadership and teams, tensions around role changes, and creating a culture of trust after restructuring. So she showcased her ability to mediate these issues and provide practical solutions that actually improved productivity and morale. And what was the end result? Her inquiries skyrocketed. HR professionals and executives began reaching out and saying things like, you seem to understand exactly what we're dealing with. And she quickly became known as the go to workplace mediator in this space, especially for navigating organizational transitions. So, what's the lesson here? The more specific you are about who you serve and the problems you solve, the easier it is to craft messages that resonate and attract the right clients. Okay, moving on to step number 3. So, visibility is the key to breaking out of this certification spiral because no matter how skilled you are, clients can't hire you if they don't know you exist. So, here's the golden rule: pick one or two platforms where your ideal clients are most active and just commit to showing up consistently. So, for many professionals, LinkedIn is a powerful tool. It's where you can share your expertise, connect with potential clients, and really build relationships with referral partners. But consistency is really the key. You need to really aim to post at least once a week and then engage with your network regularly. And if creating content feels overwhelming, then I really suggest you start small. Maybe start with sharing a quick tip or a client success story, or even your reflections on industry trends, right? People are really interested in hearing about these things. So the goal is not to be perfect, but to be present. All right, let me share with you another quick example. A family lawyer client of ours who's very hesitant at first to post on LinkedIn because he didn't think he had anything valuable to say. So he hired us to write his social media, and we brainstormed a series of simple posts. Things like 3 tips for co parenting after divorce, or how to protect your assets during a separation. And his first post received just a handful of likes, but he still stayed consistent. And over time, he built a following. And within 6 months, he had 3 new clients who said, I found you on LinkedIn. Okay, so it's consistency. So showing up consistently isn't about being seen, it's really about building trust over time. I hope this is making sense. All right, step number 4 is really starting those conversations. So we know that visibility is important, but it's not enough to just post and hope for the best. You need to actively engage with your audience. So here's where many professionals actually miss the mark because they focus all their energy on creating content, but don't take the time to interact with potential clients or referral partners. And engagement is what really turns visibility into relationships. And those relationships are what can lead to new business. So here's how to get started. I want you to comment on other people's posts. Look for content shared by colleagues, referral partners, or thought leaders in your industry, and leave thoughtful comments that add value to the conversation. You should also be sending personalized messages. Reach out to connections with a genuine message. Make it authentic. So, for example, you can say, Hi, John, I saw your post on XYZ and found it really insightful. I'd love to hear more about your work. So, reach out, use those DMs to create authentic conversations. Ask questions, whether in posts, messages, or conversations. Asking thoughtful questions shows that you're interested and that you're approachable. So I want you to remember that the goal isn't to sell right away. It's about building relationships first, and selling comes naturally once people know, like, and trust you. All right, step number 5 is to really, and this is the final step, this one is the most important. So don't wait until you feel ready to start marketing yourself because perfectionism is one of the biggest roadblocks I see day in and day out. You might think, I'll start posting once my website is perfect, or I'll reach out to clients once I finish this next course, for example. But here's the truth. You'll never feel 100% ready. There will always be something that you think you can improve, but the reality is action beats perfection every single time. So let me share one last story with you. A mediator that I worked with wanted to start hosting webinars, but kept putting it off because she felt her presentation wasn't polished enough. And I encouraged her to launch anyway, even if it wasn't perfect. And the reality is that her first webinar wasn't flawless. In fact, she stumbled over her words a few times and her slides weren't fancy. But guess what? Her audience didn't care. They cared about the valuable insights that she shared. And 2 attendees booked consultations, and one of them became a long-term client. So taking imperfect action is what creates momentum. Start where you are, and you'll improve along the way. Plain and simple. So to recap, breaking that certification spiral really comes down to 5 steps. Shift your mindset. Define your ideal target market, focus on visibility, start those conversations, embrace imperfection. And by implementing these steps, you're not only going to attract more clients, but you're also going to build a practice that's sustainable and fulfilling. Okay, let's talk about why shifting your focus from certifications to marketing and visibility can have such a transformative impact on your practice. And this isn't about abandoning your pursuit of excellence or undermining the value of your skills. It's about making sure that people who need you actually know that you exist and understand how you can help them. So let's start with this simple truth. Marketing is how you connect with the people you're meant to serve. It's not about flashy ads or trying to be something that you're not. It's about showing up authentically, demonstrating your expertise, and making it clear that you understand your audience's challenges and that you have the tools to solve them. So, visibility becomes the foundation of any successful practice. And without it, even the most skilled professionals will always struggle to attract clients. That's how I want you to think about it. Your expertise is highly valuable, but if people don't know about you, they're obviously not going to hire you. So here's why visibility really matters: it builds trust, and people are more likely to work with someone that they feel familiar with. So by showing up consistently, whether through social media, blog posts, webinars, or networking events, you become a recognizable and trusted name in your field. And it sets you apart, right? Many professionals rely on word of mouth alone, but visibility gives you a competitive edge. And by actively marketing yourself, you position yourself as a leader and expert in your niche. So, what it does is it keeps you top of mind, even if someone doesn't need your services today. But your consistent presence will ensure that they think of you when that need arises or when a friend asks for a recommendation. So, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about marketing is that it's about selling. But here's the reality: marketing is about connection, it's about creating relationships and building trust with your audience. So I want you to think about your potential clients. They might be feeling overwhelmed, they might be feeling stressed, or really unsure about where to turn. And so your marketing should really act as a bridge, helping them feel seen, understood, and supported. And this connection doesn't come from shouting about your credentials or accomplishments. It really comes from speaking directly to their concerns. So instead of saying, I have a certification in workplace conflict resolution, you could say, I help organizations resolve workplace conflicts before they disrupt productivity. Okay, so instead of highlighting a long list of qualifications, try to focus on the outcomes that you deliver, like helping teams rebuild trust after a challenging merger. And I think by shifting the focus from yourself to your audience, you really create a sense of connection that makes people want to work with you. So, you've heard me say this before: consistency is one of the most powerful tools in your marketing arsenal. And here's why: repetition builds recognition. Let me say that again: repetition builds recognition. So, people need to see your name, they need to see your message multiple times before they actually remember you. And some studies are showing that it can take anywhere between 7 to 20 touch points for someone to make a decision. So think about that. It's a lot of touch points. If you only post sporadically or engage inconsistently, what you're doing is you're missing opportunities to stay top of mind. And consistency, I believe, sends a message that you're dependable and that you're serious about your work. So, when people say, oh, I posted on LinkedIn, but I didn't really get any results, the first thing we would do is look at, well, how often are you posting? Are you posting consistently? And what's the quality of the post, right? So there's multiple things to think about, but consistency is a big factor in that because people will come to see your posts on a regular basis because they get used to that schedule or that rhythm that they know you're going to be posting. So super, super important. And it's important to also understand that marketing success doesn't happen overnight. It's just the result of small, consistent actions over time. So whether it's posting once a week, or attending monthly networking events, or sending regular email updates to your contacts, these efforts, what they do is they compound over time and they create long-term results. So let's take LinkedIn as an example. So imagine that you're committing to the most that you can do, which is one post per week. Well, if you were to do that, that's 52 opportunities in a year to share your expertise, to connect with your audience, and to attract new clients. It might not seem like a lot at first, but when you think about that over time, these posts build your brand and they increase your visibility as well as establish you as a thought leader in your niche. So, empathy is the secret ingredient in effective marketing. And I've talked a little bit about this before because when you approach your messaging from a place of understanding and compassion, you create an emotional connection with your audience. So, think about it. Your clients are coming to you during challenging times and they're dealing with workplace disputes, maybe family conflicts, or high stakes decisions. And I think by showing that you understand their pain points and care about their outcomes, you make it easier for them to trust you. So, for example, instead of saying, I specialize in conflict resolution, you can try saying something like, I know how difficult workplace conflicts can be, especially when they start affecting morale and productivity. That's why I'm here to help teams find solutions that work for everyone involved. See the difference between the two, where empathy played a factor in the messaging? So it's super important. If you want to learn more about how to market your practice using empathy, I actually did a whole episode of this. It's episode 50, and we will put the link in the show notes for this if you want to check it out and listen to it. So I think it's important to remember that marketing is an ongoing conversation, and it isn't a one time effort. Every post, every email, every event is an opportunity to connect, to educate, and to build trust. So I want you to think of your marketing as planting seeds. Some will sprout quickly, leading to those immediate inquiries. Others may take months. Some may even take years to bear fruit. But the more seeds you plant, the more opportunities that you're going to create for your practice to grow. And so this long-term perspective is really key. So please don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Stay consistent, keep refining your approach, and really trust that your efforts will pay off over time. I want you to know that your audience is out there. They're waiting for your solutions. So please make sure that they can find you. Make it easier for them to find you. So I hope this conversation has helped you see that while certifications and designations are important, they're only really one piece of the puzzle. And if you've been caught in this certification spiral, I want today to be the moment that you decide to break free because your expertise is already valuable. And the clients who need your help, they're out there right now, but they just can't find you. So, marketing isn't about bragging or being salesy. It's about connecting with the people who you're meant to serve. And I think by showing up, sharing your knowledge, and focusing on their needs, you're not just building your practice, you're making a difference in their lives. So, here's your challenge. Take one small action today to increase your visibility. Maybe that's posting a quick tip on LinkedIn or reaching out to a referral partner, whatever it is, take that action now. And if you want more actionable advice, please be sure to subscribe to this podcast so that you never miss an episode. And if you're ready to take your marketing efforts to the next level, I'd love to help you. So check out in the show notes for ways for us to connect or book a strategy call with me. And as always, I'd love to hear how you're implementing these tips. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.